Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this Transport Fever 2 series, we're on a mission to deliver every product to every city, building the ultimate transport empire along the way. From trains to trucks, planes to ships. We're optimising every route to make sure no city is left without the goods it needs. So get your cup of tea ready and settle in for another action-packed episode of non-stop logistics. Let's get going. Today we're going to be looking at setting up our first regional cargo hub. Now, I've been watching a few different videos online with loads of different ways of doing this, and I think I've come across what I want to do. Now, I'm looking at having a hub down here somewhere that provides these three towns here with everything that they need. Now, I'm sort of banking on getting something in here. I'm looking to get a station put in here simply because if we have a look at the terrain, it's all crazy amounts of hill everywhere else, and I need quite a bit of land, so I think if we can get something in here just outside of Lumley, truck everything else into it, and then get a train line through between these two hills here and down to Padstow so we can bring some tools back. Now, I think if we have a regional one for these three, I've been having a quick look at the map and think Padstow's sort of an outlier on its own here, so is Middleham, Hetton and Hendon, they're all sort of on their own. But then we've got another group of three up here with Mossley, Silsden and Sherborne. Soham again's a little bit of an outlier, but not too far away from Sherborne. And then Salcomb's out here. So what I want to do is try and get this one set up today down the bottom here, just to see how we're going to be trying to do these moving forward. Now, an idea that I've seen on some videos online that I really like the idea of is to have a main train station as in the cargo hub here with a vehicle one next to it. So we're going to play into that today. I have fast forwarded a little bit just to get some of this loan paid down. And you'll see for those of you in the comments, I've reduced the speed down to 1 times now. You know, there was a lot of people liking a comment that was about slowing the time down. So we're going to get behind that and see how we get on. But I was noticing that this train line that we put in the last video, it does occasionally make some money. You can see actually now it's up to 1 million. But what kind of happens is it then comes and it sits in the train station here for ages filling up. And then it'll fall down again, and it'll just go into debt again. So it's constantly sort of going between being in debt and not. You can see up here at Lumley at the minute, we've got 39. You're waiting to go back. Lumley itself's almost fully delivered. So let's jump into making this cargo hub, because I want to show you how they're going to be moving forward. Now, I don't want a catenary. We are going to have to max out our loan, probably. And this is the scary bit. This could literally all go wrong. I want to max this out, and I might just hit the pause as well, because we're going to be deleting a lot of lines as well. But I want to just get the basic infrastructure down. So we don't want catenary. I only want to go for one platform for now. And I want to branch down here towards Padstow. So I think if we go somewhere here to give us enough space to turn, but not too far away from Prestwick, somewhere in between these two would be really good. I think if we go about here, this should be good. And then what I want to make sure we've got enough room for is we're going to go for country roads here. And we're going to put straight road. And I'm aware it's going to cost me a bit of money putting in these roads through the forest. But this is a sort of a longevity stay. This is hopefully going to be with us the very long term. All the way to the end of the series probably. So we're going to want a decent sized truck station here. 6 here is probably enough for now. Thanks for everyone in the comments, by the way, for letting me know that if I hold down C, it gets rid of the auto snapping. I think for now, for this example, we are actually going to leave it in, because I do want to let that auto snap a little bit. I'm going to go into this and edit it. We'll hit double 1 on the numpad just to get rid of that horrible white overlay. We're going to add a few more cargo stations in here. This should just future-proof it. I'm not sure exactly how many we're going to need for now, but I'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. Now, for the truck stations, I want street access both ends of these so we can come in or out both ways, but then I do want some exits at various points down the side here as well. Now that's sort of off. It's not lined up, is it? There we go. So now we've got the 2 blocks in between. And I think we will have, I'm not sure how, I can't remember how many of these holes. We'll go for the big ones for now here, just to make sure we're sort of all singing from the same hymn sheet here. There we go. And then before we forget, we'll connect all of these roads up as well. So we'll go for a medium country road on the way in here. We'll select the bendy road. If we can connect this in with something that doesn't look too ridiculous, that works for me. That Same for the other side for any industries that are going to be delivering from this side of the station. What a nice curve coming out here. Curving down to the main road here. And we can go for smaller ones out of here. So I'd like a straight road out here if we can. Or is it worth us going to this? Because we probably are going to be running a lot of crude and oil, aren't we? So I think that makes sense there if we have that one coming out straight. And then if we join these two in at about the same angle, so we can get one junction there, that should work quite well for us. Cool. Now the first step of this, what I want to do, is to get rid now of these lines that are already running through here. And this is where it could all go very wrong. So if I manage these vehicles and I send all of these to the depot, there we go, and then RF Lumley fuel, we're going to get rid of that. But also, while we're here, we might as well get rid of all of this train route as well. You'll see what's going to happen here, guys. We'll actually sell that vehicle. We'll get rid of that. We're no longer going to need this. And I just need to delete all of this old infrastructure. We are still going to be delivering to Prestwick here, hopefully, if this all goes to plan. Which I'm hoping it is. Do want to say thank you guys, by the way, for all the support on the last video. I've just hit, as I'm creating this video now, we've just hit the 1500 subscriber mark, which is absolutely massive for the channel, so thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. You know, I've got some really good feedback as well from you all, which is completely and utterly invaluable, you know. Helps me make sure everything's working and allows me to just make the video better for you guys, really. This fuel loop, we're not going to need that one now either, are we? So if we get rid of those vehicles back to the depot as well. Depot, never 100% sure how to say that, to be honest, but I think one must be an Americanism. Now what I want to make sure we do, so we're going to double one to get rid of that. Now the whole idea behind this, guys, is having one central hub that everything goes into and out of. So we would have a line from the crude oil here and have everything wait till full. And that's going to go over to Lumley then, it's just going to drop it off. And when it gets to Upper Lumley here, we don't want everything going to an individual platform in case it's busy. So we set this so it can drop off. Those of you that don't know, if you click this little icon here, this little sort of wiggly line, you can choose all available platforms. So what this means is it can just go to absolutely any of these platforms when it comes in, which means it's very rarely ever going to have to wait for one. So this is going to be RF for road freight, isn't it? And it's going to be Lumley crude. And then we'll colour that one black for crude oil, I think. Cool. So that's one line in. Now we're going to need, once that's been dropped off, we're going to need someone here that's going to pick that up and bring it to be refined here. Okay, so that's going to need to be then, again, at Upper Lumley. We can have it to go to absolutely any of these lines. Any of these platforms, rather. And then we're going to want RF. This is going to be Lumley oil. And we won't go black, but we'll go a greyish colour there. That should work. Okay, yeah, and then we're going to need one more new line that's then going to pick up that oil that comes back and bring it all the way down, turn it into fuel. And that is going to be RF Lumley fuel. Right, okay, so hopefully that'll work now. So if I get, we also need the delivery line in, don't we? Yes, we're going to need one more that's going to pick up from Lumley here, and it's going to drop off in the centre of town. Otherwise, we're not going to have anywhere. Now, that's flipped that route around, hasn't it? So what I want to do is put this truck stop on the other side of the road. Hopefully that's still got decent coverage. It has, perfect. Now, hopefully it's sorted that route out. It has, so now that's going round without crossing over too many times. Okay, cool. So then we sent all of these vehicles to the depot, didn't we? So to start with, so if we send 6 of these to, oh, we didn't name line 1 there, so 6 on the crude. I'm going to just put 2 of these on that line 1 for the minute on the delivery line, because otherwise nothing will kick in. We're going to have 5 on the oil line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the fuel line. How many have we got left? We still got quite a few. We are going to need the bulk of these on this crude line, just because that's what there's more of. And then the fuel line's a bit longer, and the rest can go on the oil. Cool. And then I want to rename that. So this is going to be RF Road Freight again, and it's going to be Lumley Deliveries. So that now, in essence, should work. We have got an error up here, so Presswick Deliveries has now got nothing. Of course he has, so he's down there, so we're going to sell him for now. And of course we have cut that supply off now, haven't we? So we do. I shouldn't have deleted that, should I? Presswick Deliveries. So instead of Presswick West, because that doesn't exist anymore, we are going to want to add a station up here as well. And we're going to tell him for Upper Lumley, he can stop wherever he wants to. That should just keep the demand in Presswick. So what we may need to do though is actually add some vehicles to that now, because we've just got rid of them, haven't we? We'll go for 2 of those onto Presswick Deliveries. So hopefully now everything should start kicking in, and we should see at the crude oil mine here. Let's click on this. So the consumers here are Keynsham Oil Refinery, which is here. Okay. So the consumers of this, the fuel refinery, the consumers of this are Presswick and Lumley. So it has still got those connected, perfect. It's just doing them as individual routes now. But you'll see by having this one delivery route down here now, it means when we do eventually bring tools into this station, they can get delivered as well at Presswick. But now the main thing to do, now that we've got all that up and running and working, again, what I need to do is sort of set this station out exactly how we want it. So I'm going to add these just to make these a little bit longer and future-proof it a little bit more. And I think for now we'll probably be okay with just these 2 platforms, and we probably won't even need both of these for the minute. But the idea is that we make this, but when we do come to extend this later on, oh, I've gone wrong with one there, haven't I? Let me move that one over. So the idea is that later on we keep doing them in sets of 2 like this with platforms in between. But everything now is connected to here, so if we connect now over to Padstow and we needed, say, extra wood over for the tools, we could bring in some wood or some planks from here, just bring them in on a truck route 1-to-1 like we have been doing, and then we can take it on a train over to there. Now, I do want to have a look at whereabouts here we're going to be. I think in order for us to carry on up the map, up to the top end like we're on about, we've got to be sort of pointing in a vertical. So I'm looking at sort of this space here, and there is a load more industries around here that we can connect to. We've already got the tools set up, so here somewhere would be nice, but let's have a look at where we can sort of thread this through the hillside. I don't want to go too mental. There was a comment on the last video, actually, and we've got a new machines factory over at Padstow there. Yeah, there was a comment on the last video just sort of saying that, basically urging me to remember that it's early game here, and you know, massive sort of what's the word, having loads of sort of tunnels and bridges and cutting through forests actually costs a lot more. So really we should be trying to avoid that where possible, you know, and I do completely agree. And we've got catenaries here. Have we got them there? We have. I'm glad I spotted that. Let's just delete this and go again. I don't want catenaries on the track. Yeah, so somebody was basically saying to me, I can't remember the name now, so I do apologise, but, you know, just saying that it's very unlikely that in the, you know, in this sort of era, while you're short on cash, you'd be making all these sort of rash decisions, and, you know, I completely agree. So we're going to try and make it as sort of realistic as we can do, but we need to head downhill here. So we're going to have to try and start hugging the hillside. I think there's another 2 hills. So do we go through the left here? I think we're going to be better trying to cut through the right here and having a straight run at it. So maybe we try and hug the hill and snake through here. That might create quite a nice line for us. Now, I don't want the tunnel. I don't really want a tunnel there. So can we grab this? Oh, the game didn't like something there. It's still getting quite high up here, isn't it? Right, so we need to... It's sort of flattened out a little bit instead of continuing downhill. So if we pull this, I want to come around this hillside, but without putting in. We do want to come down a little bit. There we go. I think that's done it. I'm not opposed to a little bit of bridge action. But it's just sort of, it's not hugging it exactly how I'd like. What I think I might need to do is to pull this curve back a little bit. I think maybe this is what's causing the problem. If we can sort of curve, as we're slowing down outside of the station here, pull that to flat. You can create a cut through there instead of a tunnel, it would be better. I want to sort of come down here, see if I can get it to the right level without... We do want to be coming downhill, but I don't want these bridges. It's hard to see sort of all this forest, but we're just cutting through the terrain there, aren't we? No tunnels. Yes, okay, perfect. And then I want to sort of head this way. And then I don't mind a bridge crossing. I think we may have to actually just tunnel through this small section. But we've got a nice stone bridge here. Does that look ridiculous, or does that look... I don't think that looks too bad, actually. If we can cut sort of through here, unless we can come up onto the hillside a little bit. Just get rid of some of that downhill, because we are still getting... I actually quite like that bridge through there. If we pull it to sort of here, though, and then we start the turn, I think that'll be more beneficial. Drop to 74, which isn't a problem, and come out on the side of the hill here. See, now that I'm not too much of a fan of. I believe that's too high up. Yeah. We'll cut that back. Apologies for this, guys. It is a little bit sort of flying by the seat of my pants here a little bit, but I do want it to look sort of right. I think we've got to sort of come out somewhere on the side of the hill so we can follow the terrain down. Somewhere maybe like this. Which direction are we pointing here? I think this has got it now. Again, if we cut through the terrain instead of creating that tunnel, that would be much better. There we go. And now we're sort of following it downhill. Cool. So now I want to have a look at where we're going to put this station. So ideally, again, we want to leave room for expansion. So I think we're going to want to get these tools on, but probably also these. So, and then I think this is going to be about right here. So if we can connect this now to something. I know sometimes we can do some weird and wonderful things crossing the road, so I just want to make sure what we're doing here is not too rough. That's actually okay there. And then now if we stick that straight in, is that going to be okay there? Yes, perfect. Cool. So that's that one set in for now, and then I need to do down here exactly the same as what we did up the top end. So if we get a nice straight road, I think I used medium up there, so we'll do the same here. Just past the front here. That looks great to me. So towards the end of the platform. And towards the end of the platform there. Then we're going to want about the same thing in the middle here. There we go. And then again we'll add another 3 of these cargo platforms at each end. 2, 3. And then we want the street access, don't we? So we want street access at either end. And then we want some exits. So we want one in the middle, space of 2, and then another one. And then we had some cargo platforms. One just by each intersection. And now that should be okay. If we need to add more of these, we can do. And hopefully later on we'll get some mods with a bit more decoration for around here. These tools are going to want to connect eventually, aren't they? So we might as well just use this existing road. So hook that up. This road, I guess, can just go straight on to here, or do we hook it to... Maybe we sort of plan ahead a little bit. And we head over towards this crude, because we're probably going to want to join into that at some point, aren't we? And then even cross that one over, maybe. Looks a little bit ropey, doesn't it? So if we just hook that in, and I think grab that one onto there. There we go, that looks a bit better. Now, for the exits for this, we went to join these. I think we come out here, join these in along that angle. I do like the new sort of angle tool that it's given us. And then we'll have a curved road from here. Now, the main thing is going to be to deliver to the city, isn't it? So I think... Again, I'm just conscious that we're cutting through a lot of trees, but with this map, we don't really have a lot of options. I want to try and avoid going back onto the road in. That's why we've got separate in and out roads. So I am just going to cut through this forest. You can see it's costing 55,000, which, to be honest, I don't think is a crazy amount when we've got this 20 million. So now we should be able to do the same this end. So if I pause it again now, we're going to have to destroy everything here. So this Padstow's tool line, send all these vehicles to the depot. And then the Padstow tools line will delete that line. Now in order for this to work, we are going to need a line here that's going to bring the lumber. And we're going to tell it at Padstow North, so at the forest. That's going to wait for a full load because it's a raw material. And that's going to be RF for road freight. This is Padstow lumber. We'll call that brown. And we're going to need another new line, which is going to go between the planks and there. And at Padstow East, which is the cargo hub, we will get around to naming those. I might rename things in between episodes. It'd be a little bit boring for you guys to watch, I think. But that's going to be there. We're going to have RF Padstow planks. Then we're going to need one more, which is going to pick planks up from Padstow East. We'll select all of these again. It's going to bring them here, and that should also bring the tools back. That's going to be RF Padstow tools. That can be a nice sort of, we'll go for blue for that, I think. Okay, so now we've got the raw lumber to there, we've got that to planks, and then we've got planks to tools. So then we need the Padstow delivery line, which already exists. But what we need to do is get rid of Padstow Central and add in Padstow East. And again, we'll tell those guys you can pick that from absolutely anywhere. Just make sure they haven't got a certain thing that they're dropping off here. No. Cool. So now if we are able to bring some fuel up here, which we should be able to on the train now, we should be able to, these guys should be delivering all of that. So if we hit play now, it looks like we've got another coal mine getting shut down there. And the Padstow Machines factory actually came here, so we can actually get machines up and running, can't we? Because we're already making planks here that are getting delivered to the train station, so we could just have another route making machines. And Lumley actually needs machines, and we've already got a delivery route set into Lumley Seas now. It's already coming together. So if we just get... We'll put that somewhere down the hill so it isn't creating too much of a terrain alignment. But you can see, guys, just by doing this already now, if we get, say, I don't know, 3 of these guys, where do they just go? Oh, we've already got a few. I haven't separated them, have I yet? Okay, cool. So we need these on Padstow lumber. And we need about 5 of them on Padstow planks. About 5 of them on Padstow tools. And then the other one can go back to lumber. And then what we do want is another We want 2 new ones going on a new line from here to here, and at Padstow East. Anywhere. Now what this one should do is these guys should pick up some of the lumber, bring it up here, but we also need steel actually, don't we? Oh no, we need steel. Okay, manage these 2 vehicles, put them on the lumber line for now. I don't want to lose money. We'll set this line up so it's ready. We need to find somewhere to bring steel in now. Padstow machines. So we would have the ability by just chucking trucks on here to bring planks up here. But we do need steel. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, eh? Let's get the train up and running first. Because what I do want to do is start getting the tools getting sent up towards Lumley so that they can feed into Prestwick. And I also want the fuel to be coming back here to feed Padstow, so for now, what kind of... That's a long warehouse. I don't want a warehouse, I want a depot. There we go. So if we stick one of these small depots in and we just do it just sort of off the main run here, and we can connect that straight in for now. Now what are we going to be transporting now? We're going to be bringing tools one way and fuel the other. So I need to make sure I click on the correct side of this depot, which is here. We're going to need a train. So what speed can the cargo go at first? 50 miles per hour. Okay, so in terms of trains, we don't have diesel or electric. Oh, we do have electric. Crocodile. I don't want to go electric though. We'll stick with steam. Great Western. I think... Do we go with this for the power? 79 tractive effort. We are going uphill. 115, 60 miles an hour, 600,000 a year. That might be a little bit overkill. But this one has got 94, 60, but it's got more tractive effort. So I think we go for this. Great Western Rail. Let's try this. We'll go with cargo. Now we're going to want, so let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuel, and then we want tools, which is box cars. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million. And then that's going to be a new line, which is just going to simply go from Padstow to Lumley. Unable to find path to stop. Why is that unable to find a path? So we can get into here. And it can get into here. Strange. I go TF for train freight. I'll just put cargo train for now, because it is the only cargo train. I think that just automatically sorted itself out again. Oh no, it was the train. I'm guessing it's done it from the other depot. Let's see if I'm right. If I connect this in as soon as it lets me. Oh, looks like there we go. Yeah, thought the game had crashed then. Okay, so let's have a little look at this and see what we've got. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I am a big fan of that. Bulldog. So hopefully now this is going to go. So what I do want to just look at is this tools factory. Who are the consumers here now? It might take a little while. I might have to fast forward the time here until they start getting some planks and stuff. Look, you see planks are being made now. The consumer for that is the Padstow Tools Factory. There we go. So Padstow wants tools. So it's picked that up, and it's also just picked Prestwick up. Look, it knows the train exists now. Which hopefully as well, the fuel refinery over here should also have now Padstow. It's just kicked in. So that means it knows about the train, and the train's working. So now it's down to us to sort of add some more vehicles to these lines. So here we've got 217 waiting. So if we go manage vehicles, we just double that. That'll work for me. So we're going to be doubling that now. Now we need to look at where we can get some steel from. Where are we going to get steel from? Do we need more on the wood line as well? I think we do. So if we just go for an extra 4 on there. I'm just conscious that we've got all of this money out. I want to try and make the most of it. So we're going to be bringing fuel here and supplying everything that Padstow needs. We're going to be bringing tools back. We could do with getting some goods sorted for Lumley, but we're going to have tools coming and fuel coming for Prestwick. So 2 towns now are getting everything they need. Lumley's going to want goods that's a little bit of a challenge. I mean, what we could do, stick some crude on the train, bring the crude to here, connect these two, and we're making plastic. That's not a bad idea. If we connect this in, just to here, and one up at the plastic wherever it'll let us. I think if we go this side, it'll deform the terrain less. So that's 200,000 there. It's 200,000 there as well. A lot of money. That's coming in at 186. So as long as that's connected there, which it is, happy. Okay, so we need 2 new lines again here. So we'll double one on the keypad again. So we're going to want one that's going to come from Padstow branch to Padstow East. And again, we have to do this every time. It'd be handy if there was just a button to allow any station, allow any platform. So this is Padstow Oil. And another new line is going to come from here to here. And again, every single platform. That one is going to be RF road freight. That one is going to be Padstow plastic. And that can have a nice purple colour. And now I need a couple of vehicles on both of those, don't I? So if we go cargo again, we're going to have these. So we want 4 in total. I want 2 of these on Padstow plastic. And I want 2 of them on Padstow oil. So what that should do now is this train that's bringing fuel to Padstow can also sometimes bring some crude in as well. When it brings the crude in, the crude will get turned to oil. The oil could go back, or it could be used by the plastics line. So now we're going to be making plastics. All of a sudden, this comes into fruition, doesn't it? We've been making steel since the earlier episodes. By the way, guys, what you were saying was right. I've currently got this train. I can't remember if I went through this in the last video, but it now goes all the way up, picks up a full load of coal, comes down, drops it off, comes up, gets copper, iron, sorry, comes down, drops it off, and then goes back up coal. I always call this copper, this iron, because it's orange. Does anybody else ever do that? But yeah, if we have a look at this train, let's have a look at your finances. You can see here it's making an absolute killing. And it's probably worth putting another one on there. And I'm thinking if we put another truck route now down to here, we're supplying steel, then that'd be another profitable route. And then if we can bring some plastic back, if we can bring one plastic from there to here, that'd bring goods back. We could be sending goods to the line instead of plastic. And then we've got goods for Lumley, haven't we? I like the sound of that. Am I jumping the gun here? We might be jumping the gun a little bit. Maybe that's for a later video, but I think we're getting there. We've still got even more crude here. We've still got 242. So we're going to add in another 5 vehicles. Okay, and now all we need to do is I want to see how well the traffic's managing here. If I speed this up, are they getting locked on each other? It looks like they're actually behaving quite well, doesn't it? Because they can still, the ones that are going that way can still head out without crossing paths, and the ones that are going this way come out here. There's no backlog at all. I absolutely love the way this is turning out. So Lumley Oil here has actually got 73 waiting, and that's the one that's just taking it between here and there, because obviously we're creating more work every time we add more, so we're going to add another 3 here. 4. We'll go for 4. And then once oil starts backing up, you can see we're getting fuel now. Presswick deliveries, we've only got 2 vans. I'm going to double that, because we're going to be bringing tools in soon, aren't we? Speaking of which, do the tools. So we've now got Presswick in. We've got tools waiting at the train station. Perfect. So this train now, what are you carrying? It is actually carrying tools up, back up. I wonder if it brought any fuel back. Have we got any fuel in at Padstow? Doesn't look like it yet. Have you just dropped off or about to? Can't really see yet. Where's our train just gone to? Here. I'm interested to see whether we can keep its speed up. coming up this hill, I might just pay back some of this loan while we're sat here, just so that we're not paying unnecessary interest rates. So it looks like whilst we're cutting through this tunnel here, that bridge does look good, doesn't it? I do really like that. I know I opened the episode by saying, oh, I'm going to stop trying to do some bridges and cutting through forest, and that's all we've done again, but you know, we are in 1920, we've got 20 million to spend. This is going to lay the infrastructure for the future. I don't think we've done anything too crazy. Yeah, maybe that sheer cliff edge we cut through there might have been a little bit, but I think just for the terrain, the only other option would have been, I think, to snake down the side of this hill maybe, and round here. That could have been possible, but I'm not too upset with what we've done. So it looks like we've managed to get up the hill quite well here. This train is gorgeous, isn't it? Great Western. Closing Hendon oil well. So let's see what we've got to go back here. So we've got a bit of oil, a bit of fuel, a bit of crude oil. Quite a bit of crude oil actually. Which isn't necessarily a big problem, because what's going to happen now is we're going to take crude there. We found a new industry. Midland oil well. Midland's where we're creating construction materials, isn't it? Is it this one? Yeah, so it's still a little bit far out for us actually. But how are we doing in terms of construction materials? You know what? Another 2 vehicles on there maybe. And I think we'll hit that. We're going to need goods, but yeah, Middleham's one of those towns that's a little bit out there, isn't it? So we know now at least we're taking crude down there. And as soon as we get fuel here, we have got fuel here, so fuel is on its way to Padstow, and tools have come back to Prestwick. Lumley, as of yet, isn't getting goods, but I think we tackle goods in the next episode, guys, so we are going to leave it there today. Thanks a lot for joining me. Let me know in the comments what you think about this setup. I think this is actually working really well. And hopefully, if we can replicate this up in the north, we're going to have this setting up absolutely everywhere, and we can get the coal delivered, some more oil, maybe some food from down by Prestwick here. And that is all we've got time for today, guys. So as always, thanks a lot for joining me, and I will catch you all in the next video.